Welcome to another edition of the Solid Sports Video Blog. Thank you for joining me. I'm Troy West. You're watching the Solid Sports and Gaming channel. This is episode 138, and today's date is September 12th, 2020. Thank you so much for joining me today. Big sports weekend. A lot of things to talk about. We'll get into everything today. Major League Baseball as we get close to the playoffs. Only about 2 weeks left in the regular season. Break down some of the series that you need to look for this weekend. Talk about the Dodgers as well, who they continue to roll. NBA playoffs getting even more and more intense. The Boston Celtics move on to the Eastern Conference Finals to face the Miami Heat. We'll take look back on that series with the Toronto Raptors. Defending champions are eliminated as they lost a grueling Game 7 last night. Lakers and Clippers look like they're on a collision course, but the Clippers had a little bump in the road as the Nuggets fought back and won last night, so that series still going on. And we'll talk about the Milwaukee Bucks, who of course got eliminated by the Heat earlier this week. Giannis Antetokounmpo, is he looking elsewhere or will he stay in Milwaukee? We'll touch on that. And NFL action this weekend, NFL action week 1. We'll take a look at all, I'll give you all my picks for the week. Including the big 5 games of the week, and we'll take a look back at the Chiefs win on Thursday night as the defending champions look like champions again as they took care of the Houston Texans 34-20. We'll talk about that game and look back on it. A lot of things going on this weekend. The U.S. Open finals, I think the women's finals today and the men's finals tomorrow. NHL playoffs in the conference finals, the East and the West. Islanders and it's the New York Islanders and the I have to check that out. I should have wrote it down, but I know the Islanders is in the Eastern final. I know in the Western final it's the Dallas Stars and Las Vegas the Golden Knights. I think it's the Tampa Bay Lightning now. Let me just to be sure. Let me just check that real quick. But we're gonna talk about some baseball in a few. And now my screen just went out. Ain't that a son of a gun? But a lot of I'm just excited about NFL, man. NFL is back. College football also starts today. ACC and the Big 12. I think the SEC starts, I think, in another week or so. So a lot of sports going on. Kind of weird because normally, it'd be the off season. Oh, so I was right. The Tampa Bay Nightly. And they lead the series 2 games. The Islanders won last night. And in the West, Dallas leads that series 2 games to 1, the Dallas Stars. So that's your little NHL talk for the day. But let me stay on track. Let me talk about baseball. Of course, the playoff push. A lot of big key series this week. The Orioles and the Yankees. Of course, I'm an Orioles fan. But it didn't look good. The Orioles lost both games. Yesterday was a doubleheader. Orioles fell to the New York Yankees. Philadelphia, Miami, that was a big series because they both competed for wild card spots as well. They split a doubleheader yesterday. The Mets destroyed the Blue Jays. That was another key series in baseball this week for the this weekend. For playoff positioning in both the National and American League. The Brewers able to beat the Cubs, shut them out 1-0 last night. And Minnesota and Cleveland, that was a big series. Minnesota able to win that game. So, like I said, we look at the standings right now. Of course, all the division leaders, Tampa, who got a 4-game lead over Toronto. So, still in jeopardy, but it look like they're gonna win that division. Yankees. Like I said, 2 big wins last night. That hurts the Orioles' chances. Red Sox are pretty much out of it. In the AL Central, like I said, it's pretty much Cleveland with that loss. That pushed them back. They still got a playoff spot, but they're 2.5 back. That's probably the most competitive division. Chicago White Sox and the Minnesota Twins on top of that. That's why that series is so pivotal. And Oakland with a 7-game lead over the Houston Astros, but the Astros still right there for a playoff spot as well. So, in the National League, my Braves up in the American League East, 2.5-game lead over Philadelphia. So, I mean, a little tight. But Miami's right there. The Mets 5 games back. Cubs, even though that loss, they got control over the Central. St. Louis and Milwaukee. Of course, the second place team get an automatic spot. So Houston, even though they under 500 in the American League, for example, American League West, they will get that spot. Cleveland and the Yankees got the last two spots in the American League right now. In the National League, it'll be Atlanta, Philadelphia, Cubs and Cardinals in the Central, and in the West, Dodgers, Padres 3.5 back, even though they had some issues yesterday with COVID. Them and the Giants, somebody from the Giants tested positive, so they had to cancel probably that whole series for the weekend. But they will have a spot. So the last two spots of the National League will go to, look like it's Miami. And, well, San Francisco has one. And I think Miami will get the last one. So the Cubs, the Reds, the Mets, all those teams outside looking at right now. So I've said just try to at least get the second place. You guarantee the spot. Other than that, you gotta get in there by winning percentage. But yeah, those series was huge. So this weekend we'll continue to see where they shape up. But there's only 2 weeks left for the regular season. I just saw here this morning. This is sort of, I don't want to say breaking news, but that the MLB got a bubble plan for the postseason. I think in place, but they just need the union to start off on it. So we'll see how that works out. I think it's a good idea. As you see, baseball been struggling all season long with COVID, with positive COVID tests. So hopefully they can get a bubble situated and have the playoffs in the bubble. Maybe split the American and National League teams up and maybe had 2 bubbles. That's what I was thinking about doing. You know, that's what I would do. You know, I don't know how their plan is, but the plan just got released. We need the union to sign off on it. So Kung Fu Panda, Paulo Sandoval, I just wanted to touch on this. He got released by the Giants again. What a career he's had, an up and down career. Of course, he was a hero during the Giants during the last decade when they won 3 World Series. He was probably the key player in the middle of that, him and Madison Bumgarner for the San Francisco Giants. But Kung Fu Panda got released again. Let's see if somebody else will pick him up. Or because he wound up be moving around a little bit. I think matter of fact, he got a contract with the Red Sox a few years ago. That didn't work out. He wound up being back with the Giants. So let's see if his career is over or this is just, you know, another little bump in the road. But they released him. I think it was yesterday. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Just something I want to touch on. And the Dodgers still continue to scorch the world on fire. Only team with over 30 wins. Clearly going to win the West. Even though, like I said, San Diego's right there. I think they got 29 wins. Padres have been a surprise all season, you know. But yeah, the Dodgers, man, they look like this could be their year this year to win the World Series. They fell short so many times, of course, back in 2017, of course, now, which is somewhat of an asterisk for the Astros. Maybe they could have won that World Series. Yeah, San Diego 29-17, so somewhat, Dave, I just think the Dodgers will wrap up that division. But Mookie Betts fitting in very, very well with the Dodgers. With the other young talent, Cody Bellinger. Still got Kershaw there. Very, very deep team. It looks like it's prevailing here in this weird MLB season. So we'll see how it works out. I would have to say they're a favorite, though. I think I picked them to make it to the World Series again, even though I don't know. I hope my Braves able to throw a monkey wrench in there, but I don't know. I don't like the Braves pitching. That's my issue with the Braves right now as a fan. I think we gotta show up that pitching staff a little bit more. But the lineup is good, even though Ronald Acuna got hurt yesterday. So hopefully he's all right. But I'm hoping my Braves can pull through and get through the National League, but the Dodgers is going to be the way. Like I said, the Padres look good as well. In the American League, it's the Oakland A's. It's been the big surprise, as I talk about every week. And like I said, it's the Yankees, though they had injuries. The Rays look good as well. I can't forget about the Tampa Bay Rays as well. So I think they are the contenders this year, at least how it looks right now. But the playoffs, you never know. It's 8 teams this year. I think you can see a lot of 1-8 upsets. So a couple, it wouldn't shock nobody if the 8 seed beat the 1. It wouldn't shock me, depending on the matchup. So, and I think I don't know if it's gonna be a best of 5. I think it's gonna be a best of 5. I think the first 2 rounds till they get to the AL and NLCS, I think that's where they go to best of 7. So short series, so it could be a lot of upsets early on. So, but we got 2 weeks, and then everything will be put into place. But some teams, like I said, I think like the Dodgers, the Padres, they pretty much all but clinched the playoff spot. I think the Cubs as well. I think the Cubs got a good little cushion. I think everybody else still got work to do to clinch it. Like the whole American League still a little bit clouded, even though Tampa and Oakland, they got a 7-game lead. So I guess I could say Oakland probably is a guarantee they're gonna make it. But everybody else still got to fight their way in. Even though Tampa got about a 3-4 game lead over the Toronto Blue Jays. So, but it should be exciting. 2 weeks to go in the season. Now I have an update every week until we get to the playoffs. We're gonna go ahead and transition to the NBA. What another exciting night last night. Started off with the Clippers. Was pretty much dominating the Nuggets, but Denver dug deep in 4-pack. Jamal Murray got going, him and Nikola Jokic. Big shots by Michael Porter down the stretch, as Denver was able to close it out and win to stay alive. That series 3-2 LA Clippers. Game 6 is tomorrow. Lakers Rockets tonight, as the Lakers will try to close out the Rockets. Houston with their backs against the wall, but they would be without Houston to be a man down. As House got Daniel House Jr., he got in some trouble. Supposedly had basically a woman come and that wasn't a part of the bubble, was in his room. I think he tried to say she was a staff member or something, but it got blown up. He violated protocol, so he got kicked out the bubble. So he basically got sent home. Now they were saying, I was listening to the radio about this, and they were saying he got a wife and kids. So who is this woman? So it's a little bit, it's messier than the outside looking at it is really messy. But who knows? We'll wait for more information to come out. That's more of a rumor. But I don't know if the wife thing is a rumor. But as far as like how who the woman was and all that, still nothing definite. So it just seems like it's gonna be a messy situation. But I brought that up just to say Houston already down 3-1 will be without House, and he was a key opponent to their small ball. Harden been playing pretty decent in this series, but it's been Russell Westbrook that's been a little bit lacking. But it looked like we were on a collision course with the Lakers and the Clippers meeting in the Western Finals. The Eastern Finals are set. As we touch back on the Clippers in a second. That game 7 between the Celtics and the Raptors. What a game. Game 6 was good. Well, this whole series been good, even though it seemed like Boston should have been Raptors series up, pretty much had control the whole series, really. Like, the Toronto showing that championship forever. To me, they proved it to me last year wasn't just Kawhi. Toronto really had some championship pedigree in them. They wouldn't quit. Was down basically about to be down 3-0 in the series. Of course, OJ Ivanobi hit the three for the Celtics. They put the Raptors right back in the series, and ever since then, Toronto's been fighting, and they got it to a game 7, but fell just short. Marcus Smart, huge down the stretch last night. Jason Tatum as well, hitting big shots. Them in Miami, that's going to be an interesting series. The Heat, of course, eliminated the Bucks. We're going to talk about the Bucks in a little bit. But to look at this series, I think this series starts to Tuesday, I think. It's game 1, so both teams get a little bit of rest. Miami, it'll be more than a week when they're playing games. They eliminated, I think, Milwaukee on Monday, and the series starts Tuesday, so it'll be 8 days since they played. But Miami, of course, that's going to be interesting with Jimmy Butler and Bam Bam. Him going against Tice in that front line, that's going to be interesting. He'll probably be guard Jaylen Brown and Tatum sometimes. It's going to be an interesting series. Miami, though, shooting threes real well. That's how they've gotten this far. They only lost one game in the playoffs, so it's going to be an extra matchup. So both top seeds is gone. Milwaukee eliminated, and the defending champion Toronto Raptors is eliminated. And I'm looking ahead to the finals, like which one of these teams will pose a better threat for the Lakers or the Clippers. If they make it, I think the only way if Denver could crawl out this hole, or Houston could crawl out their holes and somehow make it to the finals, I think that Boston or Miami probably have a better chance. But I think if it's the Lakers or the Clippers, I think they'd be outmatched. But like I said, Miami's especially. Well, both teams, Boston have had a lot of playoff experiences over the years as well. So I think they pose some type of threat to whoever come out the West, but it just seems like the West would be a little bit stronger, especially if it's the Lakers or the Clippers. But let's just look at this series. That series should be interesting. I think it might go 7 games. Miami and Boston pretty much even all the way around the board. Boston's bench was, even though they missing Gordon Hayward, even though they say Gordon Hayward should be back. So that'd be huge if they get him back. Somebody else that you have to guard out there. I think Miami shoot the threes well with Gordon Dragic. He's played well in this whole playoffs. Robinson hitting threes. The hero. So they got guys that shooting threes. Then Jimmy hit you with the mid-range game and the toughness on defense. So that should be a hell of a series. I think it might go 7 games. I guess I gotta pick somebody. I guess give me more time. Right now, I would probably give Boston the edge, especially if they get Gordon Hayward back. I just think they're a little bit deeper than the Heat is. And I think those threes could, they can get cold. And Boston, I think, had more options in the front court. In the half-court game. And both teams good defensively. So I think this might be like a, games where they be low scoring. That's going to be an extra series. But I would give Boston a slight edge right now. But that could change with a game or two. Miami been off for a while, so maybe that can help Boston as well. So I think Boston has the advantage. But it would shock me if Miami win this series. So looking forward to that next week. The move back to the Clippers, like I said, Denver got back into the series. Game 6 will be tomorrow, so if Denver can win that game, force a game 7, you never know. But only why I got confidence the Clippers will finish them off, even though they blew a 16-point lead last night. I think, like I said, I think it is. I think Michael Porter Jr. was right. He said it in the media this week. Cavs just rely on Jokic and Jamal Murray, even though they was both excellent down the stretch, hit the key shots. Porter came through with a big block in a lane or a Zubox, and then to hit the 3 to pretty much ice the game. Young kid was pretty good. I think if he grows into something, Denver, I believe in Denver more. The Denver, they got a good basketball team. They just got to keep it together. Don't get, be patient. Don't break the team up. I just think they missing that guy that can just take over. Even though Murray has done it, But I think they need more bigger winger player that can do it. But Jamal Murray, I give him a lot of credit. He made a believer out of me. I didn't believe in him. I believe in him more now. I think if the game close, I believe he could take you home. And that's what happened last night as well. So that series, it definitely ain't over yet. Now Lakers, I think they need to go ahead and bury the Rockets tonight. I think Harden got to have like a 40-point game. I think Russ got to step up. Those two going to have monster games, or I think this is over. I think LeBron haven't really had to do much scoring-wise, but he's done a lot of other things on the court this series. Anthony Davis, I kind of see what people are saying. Like, I think he should be more dominant in this series, and they're going to definitely need him in that Clippers series to be more dominant, if that's what it's going to be. Because like I say, I'm already setting it in stone. It's going to be Lakers and the Clippers. But still, I mean, he's going to have to play better than what he's playing now. He got to find another gear, especially in the next round. But he should be dominant. He should be averaging 30 in this series. Like, there's nobody that can really guard him. You know, or should be able to guard him. But PJ Tucker has done a decent job on him, even though he's still getting his numbers. But PJ Tucker is just sticking it in. That's why this house situation, it might seem small, but it's a big loss for the Rockets. They need everybody. Eric Gordon got to play a little bit better. Yeah. But I think you want to brag. That's why I think this win by the Nuggets last night is huge. You know, because now they believe they can get back into the series again. You know, it's game 6. You win game 6, it's a game 7. Game 7 is anybody's game. So if Houston can push it to a game 6, you know, just to get that momentum going. And Denver already came back from 3-1 before, so Denver's in a similar situation. They came back from Utah. Utah pretty much had them dead and buried. They came all the way back from that series. So Denver's in a familiar spot, so you can't just write them off, not just yet. But I think the Clippers and the Lakers going to eventually meet in the Western Conference Finals. Huge game tonight. Let's see what LeBron do. Let's see what Anthony Davis do. But I think James Harden going to have one of those games where he's just out of his mind for them to win. Alright, let's touch on the Milwaukee Bucks. Of course, disappointed. Playoff performance by them. Miami pretty much dominated them, winning 5 games. Earlier this week, eliminated. Giannis did get hurt in game 4, twisted his ankle, couldn't go in game 5. Miami was able to finish him off. You know, they won game 4. Milwaukee to avoid the sweep, which I think was gutsy. Chris Middleton stepped up big, but I think the ball moved better without Giannis. But as far as, like, you know, consistency, just still wasn't there. Now the Bucks are home. Of course, the question is Giannis going to stay? Is Giannis going to stay in Milwaukee? Right now, like I said, I try to predict these things. I'm always wrong. I was wrong about LeBron twice. I'm just always wrong about these things. If somebody going to stay, I was wrong about Kevin Durant. That's what I was thinking about. Him going to Brooklyn, him going to Golden State. I was wrong about all that. My predictions about that was wrong. So I'm not even going to try to predict, but I'm just going to go with my gut. And my gut was wrong with those situations as well. Giannis just seems like a guy. I don't say like he's a guy that want to team up with everybody. I think he wants to compete. He's a competitor. I think he wants to really compete with everybody if he can, you know. And I think if it just happens, he joined, you know, he plays with someone else of his caliber, then it happens. But I don't think he's going to just go out his way to go try to, like, just for example, go to the Clippers, enjoy Kawhi Leonard, or go to Brooklyn, enjoy Kyrie and Kevin Durant, or go to Toronto. Definitely not Toronto, but, you know, I don't think he's going to do that. If he could probably convince somebody to come to Milwaukee, I think he'll accept that more. But who wants to, you know, Milwaukee is not a free agent hotspot. They're going to have to either find somebody in the draft or maybe make some trades. They would say maybe trade Middleton is somebody to get somebody a little bit more better caliber. We'll see, but Milwaukee's going to try everything they can to keep him. They probably go offer him an extension. He might turn it down, but I don't think that'll mean he's leaving. I think he's just going to try to let the market open up more for himself. And he's probably about to be named MVP probably in the next few days or so. He won Defensive Player of the Year. Like I said, we all know what his weakness of his game is jump shot. He has to develop a consistent jump shot. He don't have that. So all Miami did was just dare him to shoot. And when he came in the lane, they did what they could, even though he still got his points in the paint during the series when he played. Even when because he basically twisted his ankle in Game 3. He tried to go in Game 4 and he played pretty well. Re-aggravated it. But this Game 5 he was just out. He couldn't play at all. So like I said, they was able to win Game 4 to avoid the sweep, but they couldn't hold him off on Game 5. So but like I said, my prediction is he's going to stay in Milwaukee. But like I said, I'm not good with predicting these type of things, so he could shock me and go somewhere else. He still got a year to worry about that. So if I was a Buck fan, I won't worry about it right now. I would just I'd be disappointed, of course, losing in the semis this year. But yeah, Milwaukee gonna have to make a change because Toronto still gonna be there. Miami, I don't think going to change no time soon. Boston is scary. That's who keep getting better and better. Tatum grows into a superstar, which he start to. Jaylen Brown starting to come on as well. They keep that team together. Like I said, Gordon Hayward he's been hurt most of the time since he's been in Boston, so he hasn't shown his potential really yet. So Boston, those three teams right there, Boston, Toronto, and Miami, they're not going nowhere. Indiana, Philadelphia, we all know what's going on with Ben Simmons and Embiid. They fired Brett Brown. Brooklyn, forgot about Brooklyn. They'll be back with Kyrie and Kevin Durant. That's automatically a threat right there with just Kevin Durant, let alone Kyrie Irving. So the East is going to get a little bit more competitive. So the East ain't getting no weaker for Milwaukee. So they're going to have to make a change somehow. They're going to ever come out the East. But I picked them this year. I was wrong. I picked them to come out the East. They couldn't do it. But Giannis, you gotta get there, shoot them jump shots. Because if he ever developed a consistent jump shot, he'd be unguardable. Because he'd just drive by you, dunk on you in the lane. So he gotta get a consistent jump shot. And if he don't, then you gotta go in that pay. I think you need to work on your post. I think you need to dominate in the post. Shoot the jump shot every once in a while, but you have to be unstoppable in the post. Then, if your jump shot never comes together, so. But we'll see what he does. We got time. We got a year. By this time next year, hopefully, because like I said, who knows when the next season gonna start? Which is the next season is gonna be great. In the West and in the Eastern Conference, NBA is just gonna get better and better. So I can't wait for that. Alright, let's move on to the NFL. NFL action this week. I was just so excited. Week 1. I'm going to give you all my picks, but first we're going to take a look back at Thursday night's game. The defending champion Kansas City Chiefs able to win on opening night, 34-20. Pretty much dominated the Texans. Houston scored first, and then Kansas City reeled up 31 straight points. Patrick Mahomes, 3 touchdown passes. Just threw for 211. Didn't really have to do too much on the throwing the ball because they got this young rookie, Edwards-Helaire. He looks good. Now, this is a scary thing. If Kansas City get a running game to go along with the passing, it's just they just will be tough to beat, man. Like even though they looked as sloppy, I knew, like I said, these games is gonna be sloppy. No preseason. You're gonna see a lot of missed tackles and missed throws and everything else. No preseason, So even though Kansas City looks sloppy, they look good at the same time. They had some sloppy moments, I guess I put it that way. And Houston just looked at a little lost. You know, they got some garbage points at the end. Deshaun Watson looked decent to me though. He still looked good. He did what he could. But the DeAndre Hopkins trade looks, you know, more and more dumb. You know, because they couldn't get nobody downfield. That Will Fuller had a couple of catches, but I mean, Brandon Cooks didn't do too much of nothing. David Johnson did some things here and there, but the offense pretty much didn't look that sharp at all. So, not the end of the world for the Texans. They just fall over 0-1. I still think they'll win the division. They gonna get better as the season goes along. Kansas City, they're the Chiefs. They're gonna keep doing what they're doing. Patrick Mahomes still looks sharp, even though he only threw for 211. He just gave, Houston kept playing the high safety. They weren't giving nothing deep, and Mahomes took what they gave him and still not tore him apart. And he even said, they said he just started to learn how to read defenses. So the Chiefs just, it's almost unfair. Like I said, I'm still going to believe in the Ravens. That could probably take them down, but like I said, we'll see in a couple of weeks. That Monday night game is going to be huge. I think it's week 4. That's going to be a huge game right here in Baltimore. So that's going to tell a lot. So hopefully both teams get there unscathed. But we about to look at this week's schedule. Hilaire had 138 yards on the ground and a touchdown, by the way. Young rookie. Yeah, I've been hearing little snippets here about him, but he looked impressive, I ain't gonna lie. Better than advertised. So the Chiefs are definitely nothing to be played with. Pass rush was good as well, with Chris Jones and everybody getting after it. So Chiefs look good, man. Okay, let's do the picks real quick. Of course, just like last year, I got 5 big games. I call it the 5 big games of the week. I've expounded on those 5 games. The other games, I'm just going to make a quick, give a quick comment and pick the game, and that's it. Not going to spend a lot of time on it. So I got the schedule here on my phone. I also got the big 5 here in my notes. So we're going to go through it real quick. Alright, first game on the schedule, probably because it's in my favorites, with the Ravens and the Browns, Cleveland Browns. Ravens at home. Ravens, now it went down to 7.5. I think it was 8. So it went down a half a point. 7.5 now. This is on my big 5, only because this week, not a lot of, it's a lot of division games this week. But I just picked this game just to get to talk about the Ravens a little bit. And the Browns, because the Browns, made a lot of changes in the offseason. This is a make or break year for Baker Mayfield. I already talked about the game last year. Cleveland came here and destroyed the Ravens, 40-25. I want to say destroyed them, but pretty much handled that game with Nick Chubb. Now that's what the Browns need to do. I've been saying it. Give the ball to Nick Chubb more. Odell Beckham Jr., they say he's healthy. Him and Javon Landry on the outside. But I think you gotta get the ball to Chubb. Myles Garrett, see what he do. He's back. So it's not gonna be no cakewalk game, but I think this is a game the Ravens make a statement. Lamar Jackson, coming off MVP season. Let's see how he plays tomorrow. See if they still run the read option. See if they do it less. So I'm interested to see this game tomorrow. I think the Ravens will pull it out. I'm gonna go ahead and say they'll cover, but barely. I think they win by like 7 or 8, between 7 and 10 points. I got the Ravens winning that game. Seahawks Falcons. That's also on my big 5. Because these two teams are very interested this year. I got Seattle winning the NFC this year. And I think it starts with this game. It's a big road game. Seattle, historically, not a good road team. But I think they get this one tomorrow. Atlanta, though, don't sneeze on them. I think they're going to have something to say in the NFC South as well. Matt Ryan, despite what you want to say about him, he's a decent quarterback. Julio Jones still there. They pick up Todd Gurley. He's going to be motivated. It's the Atlanta defense is the question mark. Can the Atlanta defense step up this year and play better? If they do, Atlanta will be a tough team to deal with. But I think Seattle will win. I think Russell Wilson, even though I picked Mahomes for MVP, but I think Russell Wilson could win it as well. And I think he'll show off this game. DK Metcalf, I think he takes a step forward. I really like the Seattle team. They picked up Jamal Adams from the Jets for 2 first rounders, but I still think it's too much. But maybe he'll prove me wrong on that. So I'm gonna go with Seattle. They are 2.5 favorite in this game. I think they go ahead and win this game. And a tough one. I think it'll be close. I think Seattle wins. Okay, Jets Bills. I'm going with the Bills in this game. The Jets, a lot of question marks. Hopefully they can turn it around and see if Sam Darnold can finally put something together. But I got the Bills winning the AFC East this year. I think they started by beating the Jets this Sunday. Buffalo 6.5 favorite in that game. Bears Lions. I got the Lions at home. A lot of people, saying some positive things about the Lions. Matthew Stafford's healthy already. Bears with Mitch Trubisky is the starter. I'm really just giving the Lions this game because they're at home. If the Bears were at home, I probably would pick the Bears. So, Lions 3-point favorite. So basically, they're even. This is a coin flip game, but I think since the Lions at home, I'll get the Lions the edge. They win. One of my Big 5 games, probably one of the biggest games of the weekend, the Green Bay Packers at the Minnesota Vikings. And Minnesota is just 2.5 favorite in this game. I got Minnesota winning this division this year, so I got them winning this game. They're at home. Even though you never count out Aaron Rodgers, we'll see with the second year with Matt Nagy. With Matt LaFleur, excuse me. See if the offense opened up a little bit more. Devontae Adams had a monster career year last year. The running back, Aaron Jones. Let's see if he can continue to help out Aaron Rodgers in the backfield. Minnesota, though, I just like their defense. Of course, with the Harrison Smith in the safety position, they picked up a Galway from the Jaguars and traded for him, so their front line is stacked. Just like how they are defensively. I like Dalvin Cook. Not real big on Kirk Cousins, but Kirk Cousins, he's serviceable. I think the offense, though, like I said, I think the Diggs, like a lot of people dismissing Stephon Diggs leaving, but I think that's going to hurt the offense a little bit, at least for the first few weeks. I think you have to feature Dalvin Cook and hope he don't get hurt. But I think Minnesota edge one out and win this game. 2.5 is a good number. I say they win by 3 or less in that game. Dolphins and Patriots. Of course, Cam Newton era begins in New England. New England 6.5 point favorite. I think this game could be closer than we think. Ryan Fitzpatrick, he puts on a show here and there. He's the starter, but Tua is the backup. He's official. So if something happened to Fitzpatrick, Tua will be a second straight quarterback. They released Josh Rosen. He wound up signing with Tampa Bay, I heard. So I got New England, though, winning this game. I think the spread is a little high, though. I'd probably say less than 6.5. I think it would be a close game, though. Let's see if what Cam do. I'm rooting for Cam. Philadelphia Eagles at Washington Eagles. I ain't gonna spend too much time on this game. I got the Eagles winning the East this year. Redskins just too many problems, so I got the Eagles winning that one. Raiders Panthers. Raiders on the road against the Carolina Panthers. They 3.5. They got 3 points on the road. I think the Raiders gonna be better than people think this year. I think Carolina might be as well with Teddy Bridgewater. So this is an interesting game. Two teams sort of in limbo. You don't know which way they're gonna go. But I'm gonna get the Raiders the benefit of the doubt here. I think they're just a little bit better. I think they're on the road to win. Coach Jags, not to spend too much time on this game, even though Phillip Rivers starting his new era in Indianapolis. But the Jaguars, they take it for Trevor, or they're terrible for Trevor Lawrence, or whatever you want to call it. Jaguars are rebuilding and starting this week. I think the Colts probably win big. I say 7.5. It might be bigger than that if Phillip Rivers him and T.Y. Hilton, Marlon Mack. I think they dominate. I think they win by at least 10. Chargers Bengals. This is an interesting game because of the young quarterbacks in this game. Even though one of them is not starting, Tyrod Taylor gets to start for the Chargers. But Joe Burrow will begin his era in Cincinnati. I think the Chargers, just a little bit more ahead. Starting a rookie quarterback is never easy. So is this an easy pick? Chargers, even 3 points. That sounds about good. I think Burrow will show something in this game. Of course, Justin Herbert is on the bench for the Chargers. He won't get the start yet. Maybe if they slip, he'll get a chance, but he won't start yet. But I get the Chargers the edge. They win this game in Cincinnati on the road. Definitely a big 5. Probably the biggest game of the weekend. Probably the biggest game of the year so far. Even though we're just in week 1. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Tom Brady. Yes, Tom Brady is a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, folks. The 2020 has been a weird year already, and it continues to be weirder. But we actually see it in action against the New Orleans Saints. Drew Brees. This could be a historic game just because both of these guys could be out the league next year by retirement or, God forbid, anything else. But I've been on the Saints the last couple of years, thinking they was gonna break through. I just couldn't do it this year. Maybe Saints fans should be happy. Maybe I was the jinx, so I didn't pick the Saints to make it to the Super Bowl this year. I still picked them to win this division, so still think they'll win this game. They're 3.5 point favorite in this game. I just want to see how Brady looks with all the offensive weapons. They signed Leonard Fournette in the backfield, so the backfield is pretty much sturdy. The receiving core is good, even though Mike Evans is doubtful for this game, so he might not play. So Chris Godwin will have to pick up the slack, but I think he's capable of doing it. You got Gronkowski. They say he looks better than he's looked in years. A motivated Gronk. Or O.J. Howard. So, will Brady take advantage of these weapons? We'll see. But a lot of people are afraid of Cam Jordan getting at the Tom on that Saints defensive line. Malcolm Jenkins on the back end, so Saints improved on the defensive side. That's why I was tempted to take them again this year, but I went with Seattle. But the Saints, maybe they proved me wrong. But this is a huge game. This probably I definitely want to be my eyes glued to the set when this game starts. But I'm gonna go with the Saints though. I just think they loan each other longer. Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas. They just no preseason. I think that's gonna hurt the Bucks to begin the season. I think they might take a couple of games to get acclimated with Tom, even though they look good. Everybody looked good in the practice though. So, but I'm gonna go with the Saints. I think it'll be a close game though. I think the Saints win. A huge game there. Arizona Cardinals at the San Francisco 49ers. I'm gonna go with the Niners here. Even though the Cardinals, I think, could be a surprise team. Kyler Murray looks like the real deal. DeAndre Hopkins, of course, always make your team better. Him and Larry Fitzgerald, that's going to be an excellent receipt. Like that's, I don't know. I guess I kind of just want to root for the Cardinals, man. I like Larry Fitzgerald. I like DeAndre Hopkins. I think he don't get a lot of. I think he's a little underrated. As far as I think he's a top 3 receiver easily, but some people be debating this and this and that. No, I think he's top 3 easy. Him, Michael Thomas, and Julio Jones, and then we can talk about everybody else. They're the top 3 to me right now. But Niners, I think Bosa, like I said, I think Nick Bosa gonna have a big year. Like I said, he's my defensive player of the year prediction. So, but the Niners, like I said, winning or losing the Super Bowl, usually teams take a step back. At least it's been historically that's been the way. Can Jimmy Garoppolo step up? A lot of questions about him as well. I think the Niners will win this one though at home. And our last Big 5 game, even though we got 2 games left after this one, Dallas at LA Rams. That's a Sunday night game. This game is interesting to me because I got the Rams finishing last in the West. I think Arizona will either finish in front of the Rams. Some people are still high on the Rams. I'm just not. I don't believe in Jared Goff. He's going to have to prove it to me again. Since that Super Bowl loss, he had it to me hasn't looked the same. I think some teams have figured him out. So he had to prove it to me. They say they got a good receiver core. I like Cooper Kupp. I'm not saying he's terrible, but and Robert Woods. I mean, they got a decent receiver core. But to me, it don't scare me. It don't, impress me that much. Losing Todd Gurley, even though they got some pieces at running back, but I think the offense lost a lot. Sean McVay, not say he got hyped up a lot, so maybe that's why it's like, all right, man, it's time for me to try to show something. I think he need to show something this year. If he could take this team and maybe win the division or make the playoffs, I'll be back. I'll be back with McVay. I'll be with everybody about McVay. But to me, Sean McVay need to prove something. So, as far as on the Dallas side, a lot of talent in Dallas again. I didn't pick them to make the playoffs either. I think they have a decent year, but I didn't pick them to make the playoffs. So I think they had to win the division. I think that's the same for the Eagles. I think if the Eagles wind up not winning the division, I don't know if they make the playoffs or not. It's just too many good teams in the NFC. So I think you got to win the division, and I just don't think Dallas is. So that's why I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. The Dak Prescott situation, he's going to play under the tag. He was in the news this week because he was open about how depressed he was during the pandemic. He lost his brother to suicide as well. So it's been a rough. I didn't know none of this, so it's been a rough off-season for him. Then going through this contract situation as well. A lot of controversy around him right now. Skip Bayless, one of the people that I like Skip Bayless. I don't, from First Take, I used to watch him there. Now he's on Fox Sports, of course, with Shannon Sharp on Undisputed. I watch Undisputed pretty much every day. He knew the criticism was coming. He was insensitive about people that are depressed, and even though I don't think he meant it in a malicious way, I think he just was trying to say, even though it still was wrong, I think Skip was trying to say is, you gotta, I guess, be a little bit stronger to be a NFL quarterback, I guess. But I think, like I said, I've dealt with depression and suicidal thoughts and things. And I'm getting a little bit better, but I still have my struggles. Like I had a bad day this week, actually, about it. I'm not going to get too much into that, but I just brought that up to say that I think it shows strength when you can come out. And I think his intentions was to show people that he went through it, so somebody else that might be going through it. That's why sometimes I talk about mines, because there might be somebody out there that, just so you won't feel like you're completely alone in the world. Sometimes you just want to feel like, you ain't the only one suffering. Sometimes that helps, or just can take my situation and put it to yours, and maybe find a solution for yourself. So that was controversial. That got a lot of things on his mind, but I think he's gonna have a monster year though. With all the talent around, I think Zeke gonna bounce back. I think Dallas gonna be a good team. I just don't know if they can overcome the Eagles, and they could make it to one of them wild card spots. It's just a lot. Like the NFC, like I said, especially the West. It's just stacked, it's a lot of teams, decent teams in the NFC. But I think Dallas win this game, because like I said, I think the Rams, a little bit of hot air, even more than Dallas is. So I think Dallas will win this game. I think they got about 2.5. It's going to be a close game, though. I think the Rams will keep it close. Aaron Donald, I love Aaron Donald, though. Even though everything else about the Rams don't impress me right now, but he does. He could win Defensive Player of the Year again. So, he could win this game tomorrow night by itself. So we'll see. But I think Dallas will pull it out and win. All right, just 2 games left. 2 Monday night games. Steelers and Giants. That'll be an interesting game. Ben Roethlisberger is back. Giants. A lot of people, Giants a little fun team to watch. You got Saquon Barkley. Daniel Jones, can he continue to mature and get better as a quarterback? Now they got the coach Judge, everybody all on him. He's doing crazy stuff in practice and all this other stuff, a lot of hype. So the Giants would be an interesting team to watch, but I don't think they'll win this game. I think the Steelers will go there and win. Steelers 6-point favorites, though. I'd say that's just about right. And the final game of the week, Tennessee Titans at the Denver Broncos. Of course, Von Miller had his surgery on his ankle. Saying most likely he's out for the season, but I guess it's a slight chance he could return. Tennessee, of course, was in the AFC Championship game last year. Derrick Henry got paid. To me, he's the best running back in football right now as we speak. Ryan Tannehill, will he continue to do what he did last year? Denver, a lot of people, Denver's sort of that team, that another core flip team. Some people are on the Broncos. Like I said, Drew Lock just ain't showed me nothing yet, so that's why I'm not high on Denver. But all the talents around them is good. You know, they got Jerry Jeudy from Alabama to go along with Sutton, Philip Lindsay. So they got pieces on offense. They just missing the quarterback. Or his Lock is the quarterback. We'll see. But the Titans just picked up Jadeveon Clowney. That was a huge signing this week. So Tennessee has gotten better on defense. But Tennessee is one of those teams. Mike Vrabel has proven that he's a level-headed coach. He's a good coach. Kind of remind me of the Eagles coach, Doug Peterson. Like, they just got that, I don't know, just got that vibe that they're not going to beat themselves. Like, that's half of the battle in the NFL. Don't beat yourself. And I think the Titans are disciplined, so that's why they'll be always competitive in games and things of that nature. And I think they go to Denver. I think they win. So both teams, road teams, and Monday night should win. So that are my week 1 picks for the week. I got it open again. I might put the code in. If anybody want to play picks, get pick up my pick games all week. If anybody want to compete against me, they're welcome to. So I might put the information out there. If anybody want to come and join the real room, gotta download the ESPN Fantasy app, of course. Then go to Picks Here, pick 'em. Then search the room. You can join the room. I have a passcode and all that on it. I'll probably put out the information if anybody interested. So that'll do it for this week. We're just about done here. Some final thoughts. Like I said, NHL playoffs, Eastern Conference and Western Conference finals, Dallas Stars and the Tampa Bay Lightning both lead their series. 2 games to 1 over the Islanders and Las Vegas Golden Knights. So if you're a hockey fan, playoffs are heating up there as they get closer to the Stanley Cup Finals. U.S. Open, like I said, the finals are today and tomorrow. I think the female final is today. Serena just didn't make it. Azarenka eliminated her in 3 sets. And I'm going to say this every time I get a chance to say this. I'm going to say this. Serena Williams is the best tennis player of all time. Period. Forget the female, male dynamic. Forget all that. She's the best. Period. And I always praise her. I think she got to be the most underrated athlete in sports history. Like, the dominance that she should be up there with, like, talked about, like how Jordan is talked about, or just on that level, you know what I mean? Like, even some WNBA players, and I'm not disrespecting WNBA players right now, I'm just using an example, like, since she's a woman, they get talked about more than Serena. Serena barely gets talked about at all, you know. She should be honored, man. Like, I'm gonna keep saying it every time I get a chance. I'm gonna bring her up, because I think it's terrible how she don't get the respect that she deserves. She's the best tennis player of all time, in my opinion, and I don't think that's gonna change no time soon. We could bring up the old female Margaret Court and all the rest of them. I can't think of it right now. I think that's the record she trying to get towards. But if she don't never win another major, or she just say I'm done right now, she still would be the greatest to me. So I think she don't have to walk for me, and probably for a lot of other people, or it should be. She should need that 24th major to validate what great tennis player she was. And she proved, like I said, maybe because, like I said, I'm the first type of person. Once she proved me wrong, I don't turn my back. It ain't like I thought she was a great player back maybe 10 years ago. You know, she had her issues after her personal issues. You know, losing her sister and other things. You know, behind the scenes. You know, and she still pushed through all of that. You know, I thought she was just gonna pretty much fade, and I think she was doing a fast or something at the time. So she had all these other things going on. So I was like, well, she had a good little run, and that's it. You know, that's what most tennis players do. They have one good year or 2 years where they win a major or two. Like Maria Sharapova, for example. You know, even though she was a great player, but she's done. You know, she had a good couple years and she faded away. But Serena stayed consistent. Then you had to beat your big sister at that, Venus, who Venus was dominating the league as well. I think she got about 12 majors of her own, something like that. So Serena should be praised more. So I'm glad I got a chance to say it again. But that's going on. You got college football today. So a lot of sports going on, ACC and Big 12. So check all that stuff out. Yeah, it was a long show today. I want to thank everybody for joining me this week. Again, baseball playoffs are heating up. Regular season, you know, these some big games. So NBA as well. Lakers Rockets tonight. I think the Lakers go ahead and close them out. If they don't, I think they might. I think both of these series might go 7 now. Even the Nuggets Clippers, if Houston wins tonight, I think that could possibly make it to 7 games. But we'll see. Enjoy the NFL. I know I am. That's another big thing going on this weekend. Hopefully everybody stay clean from Corona, because that's going to be the only thing that throws things off. I want to thank everybody for the support. And I see you guys. I see you Thursday. Of course, Thursday night football start this week. You know, unless something happens between now and then. Browns. I think it's Browns and Bengals. This Thursday coming. So I will preview that game. Yep. I'll preview that game, and I preview every Thursday night game for the rest of the season. So we'll have 2 blogs every week, and we'll look back on week 1 Thursday. So I'll see you Thursday, and thank you guys so much for joining me this morning, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much. You're watching the Solid Sports and Gaming channel. Thank you so much.